Lesson for Thursday, January 25th. Help from the sanctuary. Read Psalm 3:4.
I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill, Selah.
Psalm 14:7.
Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. When the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad.
Psalm 20:1-3.
The Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defend thee. Send thee help from the sanctuary, and strengthen thee out of Zion. Remember all thy offerings, and accept thy burnt sacrifice, Selah.
Psalm 27:5.
For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock.
Psalm 36:8.
They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasures.
Psalm 61:4.
I will abide in thy tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covert of thy wings, Selah.
And Psalm 68:5-35.
A father of the fatherless, and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation. O God, thou art terrible out of thy holy places. The God of Israel is he that giveth strength and power unto his people. Blessed be God.
Where does help come from in these texts? The motif of spiritual and physical refuge and help notably appears in the context of the sanctuary. The sanctuary is a place of help, of safety, and of salvation. The sanctuary provides a shelter to the troubled. God defends the orphans and widows and gives strength to his people from his sanctuary. When out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, God will shine forth. Psalm 50:2. God's righteous judgments are proclaimed, and the Lord's blessing goes forth. Psalm 84:4. Psalm 128:5. Psalm 134:3. The refuge in the sanctuary surpasses the security provided by any other place in the world because God personally dwells in the sanctuary. The presence of God, not merely the temple as a firm building, provides safety. Likewise, being the mountain where the Lord dwells, Mount Zion surpasses other mountains, though in itself it is a modest hill. Psalm 68:15-16, Isaiah 2:2. For we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses, but was in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore come boldly to the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Hebrews 4:15-16. In what ways do these verses parallel what the psalmist says about the sanctuary? The holiness of God's sanctuary prompts the psalmist to acknowledge that all people are sinful and completely undeserving of God's favor, and he claims that deliverance is based on God's faithfulness and grace alone. Psalm 143:2-9-12. Nothing in us gives us any merit before God. It is only when people stand in a right relationship with God through repentance and acceptance of God's grace and forgiveness that they can plead for God's assurance of deliverance. The sanctuary service represented the salvation found in Jesus.